Hi friends, I'm Chelsea and I'm here with a special video. So I just hit 100 subscribers in the last week or so, and you may have seen my community post that I was going to do a special video, and I thought it would be really fun to commemorate this milestone. So in the post I said this may not feel like a big deal to some, but for me this is just really exciting, and I just love being able to engage with y'all in the comments and just being a part of this booktube community. So if you have subscribed or commented, shared, liked, all of that, just thank you so much, and I'm really excited to be here and looking forward to more videos. So I thought I would celebrate this by doing a special video. So you can probably tell by the title, but I thought I would share my 100 top books, which is harder than you would think. So these are all my 5-star books, and then a smattering of 4 stars as well, and the range from 4 to 4.5. It's going to be a mix of my physical books that I own and then a lot of books that I don't own because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I use the library a lot, and so probably only half of this is going to be physical books and the rest will be pictures up on the screen. So I'm just going to share in order of rating. So 4, then 4.5, then 5 stars. And they're just going to be in whatever random order according to their rating. And because there's a lot of books here, I'm not going to give you like reviews or anything like that. And I'm just going to say the title, the author, the genre, maybe like a really quick comment about it, and whether or not it's an audiobook that I think you should listen to. It's just going to be kind of like a rapid fire book recommendations, my top 100 books. Again, just thank you for subscribing, and I'm excited to share. First up, this is our 4-star group, and there's a lot in this category. These were books that I really loved, enjoyed a lot, would recommend, but didn't quite have like that 5-star feeling, but really good still, and again, highly recommend. Also, sorry if you hear things. There's a lot of people and animals in this house, so that's what we're dealing with here. But I have my fancy little microphone, so maybe that'll help. Here is my 4-star category. First up, we have Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is fantasy set in kind of an academic setting, very lyrical, beautiful writing. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, true classic coming of age. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, another all-time favorite classic. Anxious People by Fredrik Backman, literary fiction with humor, mental health themes, kind of a thriller-ish. I would listen to the audiobook for this one. Book Lovers by Emily Henry, contemporary romance set in North Carolina. A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, fantasy, the 5th book in the ACOTAR series. This was a 4.25. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, historical romantic fantasy, also a 4.25, feels like World War II with mythology. Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, literary fiction. I would listen to the audiobook. It's narrated by Meryl Streep. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. That might have inspired my channel name, just saying. This is cozy fantasy, and I would listen to the audiobook. It's narrated by the author. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, mystery thriller, super fast-paced, really quick read. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson, mystery thriller. I would listen to the audiobook, really funny, and he breaks the fourth wall a bunch of times. Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young, magical realism, mystery, fantasy, small town vibes. The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon, cozy fantasy, You've Got Mail meets paranormal romance. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, contemporary rom-com, super cute and sweet. Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson, literary fiction, just like a sweeping family story, really unique writing style. Belladonna by Adeline Grace, gothic, historical, fantasy romance, Regency era vibes with death as the love interest. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, gothic horror, super weird and disturbing. Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, historical, crime noir, really great vibes and atmosphere. The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, mystery thriller with a cult. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, mystery thriller, great wintry vibes in Scotland. The Night Swim by Megan Golden, mystery thriller in a true crime podcast kind of format. I would listen to the audiobook for this one. Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton, horror, post-apocalyptic. The main character is a talking crow and it features a bunch of other animals. I would listen to the audiobook. The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare, historical romance, super fun, witty, great banter. The Grace Year by Kim Liggett, YA, feminist, dystopian, Hunger Games vibes. The Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan, contemporary romance, chick lit set in Scotland. If We Were Villains by ML Rio, mystery thriller, dark academia, literary fiction, all the vibes. The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, fantasy, folklore, fairy tale, features Russian folklore. And These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, historical fantasy, Romeo and Juliet retelling with monsters, magic, romance, mystery, all the things. Next up we have my group of 4.5 stars. There's a couple 4.75s, but roughly the 4.5 star range. Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, urban fantasy. Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. I hope I said that right. This is dystopian literary fiction addressing the horrors of our prison system and how our culture could continue in a very disturbing direction if we're not careful. The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, magical realism with time travel, mystery, romance, history, small town rustic vibes. Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross, part 2 of the Letters Enchantment duology, historical fantasy romance, great end to the duology. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, historical / contemporary fiction. I would listen to the audiobook. Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa See, historical fiction set in China. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, historical, cozy, fantasy, romance. 2 of my favorite fictional characters. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, literary fiction with a little mystery element thrown in. I would listen to the audiobook, super fast-paced, bingeable. The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek, Norse mythology with Loki, but more of a feminist take. The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont, historical mystery about Agatha Christie's mysterious disappearance. Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto, cozy mystery. I would listen to the audiobook, it's super funny. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, horror, and I would listen to this audiobook as well. It's really well done. Ace of Spades by Farida Amike Amide, YA mystery thriller, dark academia, Get Out meets Gossip Girl. I would listen to the audiobook. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, literary fiction. An octopus is one of the main perspectives, and another audiobook I recommend. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, contemporary romance in an academic STEM setting. The Stand-In by Lily Chu, contemporary romance. I would listen to the audiobook. It's narrated by Philippa Sue, who is Eliza in Hamilton. Honor by Triti Umrigar, literary historical fiction set in India. These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, basically ACOTAR but in a YA fantasy low spice setting. Now we are at our 5-star reads. These are some of my favorite books of all time, and there's a lot, so buckle up. Beach Read by Emily Henry, contemporary romance. My favorite Emily Henry, great banter, hilarious, super cute, and deals with some deeper topics as well. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, YA mystery, kind of a true crime setting, first book in a series, really good. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, historical mystery set in the marshes of North Carolina. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, YA mystery thriller, feels like Knives Out, Clue, very fun riddles, puzzles. The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, a classic, very small, but kind of a heavy one. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, another great classic. I just love this family and all of the characters. The only nonfiction I have, this is Blue Like Jazz by Donald Miller. Really great, raw, honest look at faith and spirituality. Really shaped a lot of ways that I thought about faith and spirituality. The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, cozy fantasy, just like a literal warm hug. I love it. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, YA fantasy, classic. Another twofer here, we have The Hunger Games and Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, YA dystopian fiction, some of my favorites. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, historical fantasy, a girl makes a deal with the devil to live forever, but no one remembers her, and then one day someone does. Here we go again. This book I'm trying to show off. This is Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice is my top, but also Emma and Sense and Sensibility. So a couple extras here. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, fantasy romance and dragons. The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dare, contemporary literary fiction set in Nigeria, really powerful and heartwarming story. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, contemporary literary fiction about video games, but not really. More about relationships and creating. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, historical World War II fiction. I enjoyed the audiobook for this one. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, psychological thriller, super twisty, and a lot of people aren't sure about this ending, but I really liked it. Lovely War by Julie Berry, YA historical fiction with romance and Greek mythology. I would listen to the audiobook. It's one of the best ones I've listened to. The Warsaw Orphan by Kelly Rimmer, historical fiction set in Poland. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, thriller, super fast-paced, couldn't put it down, really good. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, contemporary romance, one of my favorites, and very low spice if you're into that. Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings of Ruin by Sarah J Maas, fantasy romance, the second and the third book in the ACOTAR series. If I could read this book again for the first time, I would be so happy, and this one was a great follow-up. Beartown by Frederick Bachman, literary fiction about hockey, but not. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman, literary fiction, super quirky and unique. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, historical fiction, and I would listen to the audiobook. It feels like a Rolling Stone interview. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, one of my favorite classics set in 1920s jazz age. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, historical fiction, narrated by Death, and I would listen to the audiobook. The Nightingale and The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. These are both historical fiction. This is set in World War II, super powerful, incredible story. And this is set in 1970s Alaska, and I would listen to the audiobook for The Great Alone. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, contemporary romance, heartbreaking, but really sweet. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, contemporary YA. I would listen to the audiobook. It's super good. Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann, nonfiction, true crime about some crazy things that happened with Native Americans. It's pretty disturbing. The movie just came out recently. No Exit by Taylor Adams, thriller, super fast-paced, could not put it down. Legendborn by Tracy Dion, YA urban fantasy, features a black girl at college, and there's a secret society, King Arthur, a lot of cool stuff going on. The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali, historical fiction. I would listen to the audiobook for this. This is The Notebook set in Iran. Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, the second book of These Violent Delights, historical fiction, murder, mystery, romance. Know My Name by Chanel Miller, my favorite memoir I've ever read, and I would definitely listen to this one. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, mystery thriller, dark academia, another great audiobook. The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, particularly The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe fantasy, and these are like my childhood. Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz, gothic YA mystery romance set in Edinburgh. We Were Dreamers by Simu Liu, memoir. I would listen to this one. Finley Donovan is Killing It by El Casimano, cozy mystery, think Good Girls meets Dead to Me, and I would listen to the audiobook. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, psychological thriller, really good audiobook. The Maid by Nita Prose, cozy mystery, super sweet. Take My Hand by Dylan Perkins Valdez, historical fiction based on true historical events of the sterilization of African Americans. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, thriller, horror. I would definitely read this because there's super creepy pictures in the book. Notes on an Execution by Danya Kukafka, mystery thriller, literary fiction about a serial killer and his story told from the perspective of 3 women in his life. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana, cozy witchy rom-com, just loved it. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, memoir, really fascinating and kind of heartbreaking. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto, cozy mystery, another great audiobook. And last but certainly not least, one of my favorites of this year so far, Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Fantasy, cozy, whimsical, adventurous, all the great vibes. And that is it for my 100 book recommendations. You might have gotten a couple extra ones in there. Hopefully I counted right, but we definitely got 100. So yeah, again, these are just the books that I love and would recommend to basically anyone. I would love to hear if you've read any of these books or if any of them are on your TBR, what your thoughts are in general. Please let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!